Alright, for the cannonball, let's go ahead and finish off the final part, which is going to be the trigger event part of it and the particle. So for this one, let's create another particle, and actually, let's just duplicate the one we've got here, and then we can set up the properties right from it. We'll go ahead and do Control D, again, that duplicates, and then just drag and drop this particle on top of cannonball. Once you've dragged it on top, go to your position and change the X and Y and Z to 0. So now the cannonball now holds this one. Alright, so with this one, let's just change a couple of properties, set it up as kind of unique to itself here. The first one to start with, we'll just kind of go down the list here. Let's change the lifetime to a little bit longer. We'll do lifetime at 0.55. The start speed we'll leave at 1. The size, the cannonball is a little bit larger, so let's go ahead and change this one to 0.5. And then we don't want it yellow, but we're probably going to want it like a grayish tone. So let's kind of change the tone here to a little more of a gray. Alright. And then with the gray set in, let's go down to our gravity. And since the cannonball is going to be shooting, how about we say that there's going to be a little bit of a drop on the gravity, so let's add a little bit to it here. We'll do about a 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, somewhere around there for the size for it. There we go. Something similar to this, we'll go ahead and keep the inherent velocity at 0. We'll set the world on. For the options, let's go into our emission part. For the emissions, instead of being so large, we're actually going to make this where it looks more like there's kind of drops coming from it. Alright, once you have that one, we'll just go to the box, and since it's larger, we'll take this back up to 1. There we go. So at this point, we've changed the emission and the shape. Now let's go ahead and go to our velocity over lifetime. And what we're going to do here is actually click on velocity over lifetime and just type in 12. Let's try 10. There we go. So the velocity over lifetime set to 10. And then the next one that we want to go to is our color over lifetime. And instead of the green, let's go ahead and change this one pretty much just to black. Let's see how black looks. There we go. And then our size over lifetime, we'll go ahead and change this one as well. We'll make this one a bit smaller. We'll do this one 0.1, and we'll make this one up to 6. Alright. That looks pretty good. That kind of gives us a fun little different look. So we've got a hard line for this one, and we've got kind of a powdery smoke one coming out from that one. Alright, so again, the variables are right here. You can just kind of copy those, what you see. Alright, so if we have those set in place, if you go back to your cannonball, go ahead and drag your particle system from your cannonball over to the particle. So that's going to set up our particle for us on Unity side. Let's go into the scripting side. Alright. Now, there's going to be a couple of things that happen. One, actually let's go back here just so you can see it, is that when you play it and it launches, so notice it's got a fun little spin to it, but it keeps going and it keeps going even once it's hit. What we want to do is have it hit and then leave it for just a little bit and then turn it off. So if we're inside of here, so this is going to be our cannonball script. Let's go ahead and go over to a new method, and we're going to use the onTriggerEnt. And again, it's going to be the collider. We'll call this one other. The onTriggerEnt, what we want to do is a couple of things. We only want the first hit that happens to actually be active for it. We don't want it to constantly hit something and remake a sound and check for the particle. So we're going to check, we're just going to do a little locking system on this. We'll make a private variable here, and we're just going to use this one and call isActive. And we'll set this to start with, isActive is going to be true. On the trigger enter, we're going to say if isActive is true. If it is active, let's go ahead and turn it off. This means that we're only going to do it one time. So the moment it hits one thing, it's going to check for this and turn it off. That way it can only hit one thing. Once it's in here, we're just going to do the same one that we did before. We're going to do play one shot, and it's going to be the audio shoot. And then once you have the audio shoot, we need to actually disable the particle. But remember, we don't want to disable the particle. When the particle came and hit, it rolled for a little while, and we kind of want that particle dust and things to stay. So we're going to do something. We're going to do a coroutine. Alright, so a coroutine is going to allow us to have a little bit of time go by and then actually run itself. So up at the very top, using system collections, we're going to need to add one more to that. We're going to say using system collections dot, and this is going to be generic. Generic is going to allow us to go down here and use one called iEnumerator. So the iEnumerator, this is going to be our coroutine that we're going to place in. We'll just call this one disable particle. That's what we'll call it. And the coroutine is going to need a yield in order to make it work. So we're just going to say yield, and standard for it is just going to be return a new. And then what do you want to return? We're going to return a wait for seconds. And the wait for seconds, let's say we want to use we're going to make a variable called delay time. So delay time is going to be how long do we wait. So when the ball starts to roll, let's say we want to wait a couple of seconds. How about we put this up here, and then you can actually change it based on trial and error and seeing how long you like it. We'll start off by saying let's delay it for 2 seconds. So down here, it's going to go 2 seconds, and then whatever's below it, whatever other code is down here, after 2 seconds, it'll start running it. Well, we want to do just like we did with a magic orb. We want to take the particle, enable emissions, and we just want to set that to false. So we'll turn off the particle after 2 seconds, and then we'll also disable the script just so that we don't even have to worry about anything checking for itself. Actually, we don't even have to worry about that. We'll just, once we run through it, it'll lock for itself. The next thing that we could do is that once it hits and once it's gone through, we could actually make sure, and this is going to be something we'll have to look for in the future, but we'll go ahead and set the hit points to 0. And what this is going to do is make sure that nothing can be hit by it when it checks for it. Alright, so if we save this, we need to do one last thing, is actually use it. We'll do start coroutine. So when you're going to use a coroutine, you actually call it by saying start coroutine. Then you place in the coroutine that you want to actually use, and this is going to be disable particle. I'm going to use the disable particle here. Now if I go inside of Unity, and we see our particle system, let's see what else we have. Our delay time is now there. So if I push play, now it actually shoots, it hits after 2 seconds. If it doesn't turn off, why? Because we don't have our isTrigger on there. So let's make sure that we add the isTrigger. Now here's the catch. If I add this, what's going to happen? It's going to go through the floor. Alright, so the cool part with Unity is that instead of doing the isTrigger here, let's add another sphere collider to our object. So we're going to add sphere collider. So we have 2 sphere colliders. This one though is just going to be a trigger collider. So we're going to say sphere collider is trigger. And let's actually make it a little bit larger. That way it has more of a radial check for when it could hit something. So inside the sphere collider, let's focus here for a second on this. Sphere collider, the second one we've added. We're going to do isTrigger is checked. The center, go ahead and just zero it out. And then the radius size, let's put this up to about 0.65. We could even try, let's see if we're not seeing it. Oh, let's open this up so we can see it. There we go. Let's make this one about 0.65 for the size. We just want the radius a little bit larger than the other one. That way if it hits close to something, it can still do damage to it. And if we play, what we should see now is that when it lands, and then 1 and 2, and then it stops, so now there's no more smoke and it just keeps rolling. So now we have our two different type of bullets that we can play with, and those will be set up. So now we have our cannonball, our magic orb. The cannonball is pretty much finished off. Let's double check on the script again. Let's make sure we have everything set how we need it to be. So up to this point, I'll zoom out so you can see the whole thing. There we go. So up to this point, we're looking at a check for whether it's active or not one time when it hits. We're disabling the object after 2 seconds have gone by from the hit. And then we're doing one thing right here, which is going to be a little bit more for once we're setting it up as a weapon, but I'm just going to go ahead and place this in for now. Alright, so that finishes off our cannonball.